Welcome to Spiritual Astrology with Allison Taylor-Moseley. Today, we are going to explore the astrological energies, transits, and spiritual themes for the week of June 10th to June 16. This week, there's a big shift in love, relationships, and money because Venus enters Leo Saturday, June 13. And the Sun moves through the last decan of Gemini, and we set a new intention in our Gemini house at the new moon, June 15th. Last week, Mercury entered Cancer and got straight to work, making connections with Neptune and the North Node. That brought in spiritual energy or a knowingness about what has truly ended in your life. And you may have started imagining what's next for you as more of your old self falls away. Maybe you're already being introduced to new things, new ideas, and you're ready to start chasing new desires. You might be surprised about something that piques your interest in the second half of 2026. Things start coming together, things that you've been waiting on, and can feel very validating. A lot of the energy coming forward between the three outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, is going to bring in energies, ideas, and frequencies that you've never experienced before in your lifetime. These are totally new energies to work with. The possibilities are truly limitless, and your creativity is high. Things just start showing up and seemingly out of nowhere. So it's really going to become easier and easier to let go of the old, walk away from things that maybe previously would have seemed impossible to walk away from, because you have all of these new beautiful developments. They're very exciting. They're going to be unfolding in the second half of 2026. Mercury is going to be in Cancer for an extra long time until August 9th. And that's because she retrogrades in Cancer. And I have a separate podcast about the Mercury retrograde on my page. But this energy triggers emotional conversations in your head. And that energy of needing to process your feelings, go inward, how you feel about something, and the topics of your Cancer house. So that Mercury in Cancer will be a big theme that I'll be talking about over the next 2.5 months. So let's get into the transits for this week. Mercury in Cancer started forming a square with Saturn late Tuesday, June 9, and that spills into Wednesday, June 10th. Mercury square Saturn is a delay or a block or an obstacle. It's a setback. It can also come through as negative thinking, negative mindset, worry, fear, pessimism, overwhelm, feeling like you have a lot to do and there's something heavy weighing on your mind. Now, a few days later, on June 13, Venus will square Chiron. That's a Saturday. Chiron's at 29 degrees. It's the last degree of Aries. And Venus is at 29 degrees of Cancer, making this transit more impactful and more intense. This can bring forward an understanding about something happening in your private life that's no longer in alignment with your values, with your sense of self-worth, with your boundaries, and what you want out of life for your family or a home situation. It can feel private and internal. That Venus square Chiron could be a surge in your sense of identity, and you find the courage to express yourself, maybe to go out on your own. Maybe you want to act on your desires and what you really want. Go against the crowd, not worry about other people. That Mercury in Cancer is helping you put a voice to how and what you're feeling. So when Venus in Cancer makes a square to Chiron, she gets in tune with her needs and she knows how to self-protect. Chiron is a sensitive spot. It's an insecurity, but it also represents healing. Chiron brings forward that Aries courage, that desire to take a risk on something, to go for something. Maybe you want to hold back normally, but this time you don't. Now, Chiron is leaving Aries and entering Taurus later this month, and that's going to be a whole new energy. So this could feel like a closure, an ending to a long journey of Chiron and Aries. It could be a gift that comes through, something to support you and where you're going next. That Venus brings in blessings. Even in a square, it can be softer. And the fact that it's at 29 degrees tells me that it feels more like a gift. So you could get courage because you finally know how you feel. It could be very empowering. Now that's Saturday, June 13th. Now, only 2 days later, Venus will enter the fixed fire energy of Leo. Venus in Leo is a very different energy than mutable water Cancer. Now Venus is in that fiery, passionate, creative energy of Leo, where she's ready to create something. In Cancer, she went inward. She got in touch with how she felt, what makes her feel safe, her body's messages. In Leo, she wants to go outward. She wants to express herself, gain attention, admiration, showcase her talents. This is a time to shine. This is a time to empower yourself using your creative energies. Leo is very creative. So is Venus. Venus now answers to the sun because the sun rules Leo, and the sun is currently in Gemini. Sun wants you to utilize your gifts, showcase your unique flair, and that sun is also a symbol of leadership. So that Venus in Leo is where your leadership abilities can shine. It could be something you want to write, a book, maybe a podcast, because that Uranus in Gemini is a writer, a messenger, a speaker, a teacher. You could learn something new, something creative, or you could get a burst of creative energy and just run with it. This is really good energy for people who've been working on something behind the scenes. That Venus enters Leo, and now it's your time to shine. There could be a breakthrough, things coming together to support your work, your talent, or any passion project that you're working on. Remember, creativity is not just making art. It's whatever your talent is. If you have a small business, that's a passion project. Maybe it's the way you dress, the way you carry yourself. You have more swag with Venus and Leo. Draw more attention to yourself. It could be a great time to get your picture taken, have a photo shoot. Wherever you have Leo in your chart, Venus comes in, brings in the right people, encourages more harmony, more collaboration, brings in beauty, satisfaction, pleasure. Venus also relates to female relationships, sisters, mothers, daughters, the female friends in our life. And Venus in Leo helps you form loyal partnerships, and you can attract more attention during this time. That Venus in Leo give you a platform to express your creativity, to show up as a leader in your field, in your study, in your expertise, or just within your friendship group or your family unit. This is also a time to just invite more fun into your life, to lean into good times, to recreational activities and hobbies. Leo is about being playful. They like games, gambling, being with others, having good times. So Venus enters Leo June 13 and stays there until July 9. She affects our relationships, love, money, how you find satisfaction, harmony in your life, and those themes of creativity, self-expression, and leadership come through. And Venus brings in blessings and support and the right people. Now, the following day, Sunday, June 14, there's a new moon in Gemini. The sun and the moon meet at 24 degrees Gemini. Sunday, June 14, that's where you're being called to begin something new around the Gemini themes in your life. You're setting a new intention. You're starting something new. It could be a fresh start. It could be a new beginning. Mercury is the ruler of the new moon, and she's at 18 degrees Cancer, with Jupiter, who's at 26 degrees Cancer. There's something that you're learning in your Cancer house, something you're processing internally. That Mercury in Cancer is forming a supportive sextile with Mars at 20 degrees Taurus, which is helping you get grounded, and what you want and how you feel. And we need that grounding energy. And that's very positive for the new moon. Venus sextile Mars helps you make progress on something possibly private, something related to the Taurus and Cancer area of your chart. Mercury's processing how she feels. She's internal. She checks in with Mars for something grounding and stable. Mars in Taurus knows what she wants. She has a strong inner core that can energize and activate Mercury and help her process how she feels, move forward, start taking action on things that are in front of her, help things move along, get in touch with the right people, have the right conversations. So that new moon can be productive, can be supportive, helpful to whatever intentions you want to set. Plus, Venus entering Leo, it feels like you're getting a lot of support during this new moon. Also, with the new moon, Venus is in a sextile with Uranus at 2 degrees Gemini. That brings in brilliant ideas, creative ideas, the right people, unexpected social engagement or a pleasurable experience. Think unexpected pleasure with Venus sextile Uranus. It's socially supportive, it enhances creativity, self-expression, your talents, gifts, how you can shine. Venus in Leo is confident and bold. And Uranus in Gemini can show up as this unexpected surprise. And we're going to see a lot of that with Uranus in Gemini, a lot of shocking, unexpected, out of the blue developments happening around us. So something totally new and unexpected could show up to help support this new intention that you want to set at the new moon. Put yourself in new situations today. Be open to something outside the box. Take people up on those spontaneous invitations. Try something exciting instead of going for the usual. Go to a new restaurant, listen to a new podcast, go see a new band, pursue those random ideas that come into your head. Uranus brings in brilliant ideas, new ways of doing things. Uranus is linked to enlightenment, sudden downloads, understandings, awakenings, like a knowingness about what's next. So you might have a new idea. That Gemini energy is full of ideas. Or you have a new intention or a new project you want to pursue. There could be a money issue with Venus in Leo. They do like to spend. You might purchase something expensive. Maybe it's related to a creative endeavor. There's this sense that you have something you really want to go for. That Venus in Leo activates your heart chakra and you're feeling full of creativity and desire and willpower. And Uranus is that unexpected or possibly a disruption that comes through right when you're wanting a new direction or to take a new path. And opportunities start to present themselves, and it can feel very exciting. Venus is also trine Neptune. So Uranus brings in that higher message, the brilliant ideas, the unexpected developments, and then Venus connects to Neptune, helps you tap into that new dream. That Venus trine Neptune can help you go for what you really want, even if it feels like a fantasy. Your imagination is on fire right now, and that's where the magic happens. This allows your imagination to wander. Neptune has no limits. Wander into all the fantasy ideas that are possible. Allow your mind to visualize what could be. Be in a creative space this week. Be playful. Open yourself up to new possibilities, new ideas, new paths, new relationships. Neptune in Aries is that bigger dream, that fantasy, that ideal outcome. And Venus brings in creativity, the right people, collaboration, a win-win. She harmonizes things. She makes things beautiful. She brings in balance, ease. And that trine indicates there could be opportunity, things coming together, luck. And then Uranus bringing in wild ideas. So altogether, it just feels like a big step forward. You could also receive messages about your self-worth and what you value. Venus in Leo is very proud, and she wants to be appreciated for who she is, for her talents, and that can prompt you to want more for yourself. If you're facing relationship dynamics that are challenging, ask yourself if your grip is too strong. What are you holding on to that's not worth it? That Venus might receive answers this week. Venus is also starting to form an opposition to Pluto, and that's exact the following day, June 17. So she's talking to all the outer planets, and she's in Leo, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. And Uranus, Neptune, Pluto are forming a rare minor grand trine. Uranus at 4 degrees Gemini, Neptune at 4 degrees Aries, Pluto at 4 degrees Aquarius will all be aligning for an incredibly unique and rare minor grand trine that will unfold in July. And the dates for that are below. Neptune and Pluto are already within 1 degree of making an exact sextile, so that energy is building. And so when Venus gets to connect with all those outer planets, it's like getting a message before things go down. Messages about what's next, how that applies to her needs, her self-worth, money, spending, her lifestyle choices. It can activate more of what you want and desire, bring in a sense of satisfaction, and you can feel very empowered around what transpires. The dates for the minor grand trine are July 16. Uranus will sextile Neptune retrograde, 4 degrees. 2 days later, July 18, Uranus will trine Pluto retrograde at 4 degrees. July 25th, Neptune retrograde will sextile Pluto direct at 4 degrees. September 16, Neptune retrograde sextiles Pluto, who will be retrograde. That's at 3 degrees. And then November 28, Uranus retrograde will sextile Pluto direct at 3 degrees. Now, those dates are for when they go exact, but you'll be working with this energy starting this month. It peaks in July, and you'll be working with it for the rest of the year and through to 2029, because they meet up again several times at different degrees over these next few years. Now, when I say this minor grand trine between Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto is rare, I don't mean once in a lifetime rare. It's way more rare than that. It takes thousands of years for this alignment to come together because those outer planets move so slowly. The last time these 3 planets even barely had a chance to make this alignment, it missed Pluto. Uranus was in Gemini 1859 to 1866, and that overlapped with Neptune and Aries from 1861 to 1875. It was only a 5-year overlap. But by then, Pluto was in Pisces. And so it didn't come into a trine with Uranus and a sextile with Neptune. So it is very rare. And when you have a rare, unique energy play out in the sky, rare and unique things happen. So this is going to bring in energies you've never worked with before in this lifetime. We're moving through a paradigm shift. This is the kind of energy that changes history books. It's going to revolutionize our world, what it means to be human, what we know about Earth, what we know about outer space, the oceans, our minds. And it can be scary, but it's very important that you do not lean into fear right now. There will be some people who react with fear, especially those who are resistant to change. But you are never manifesting when you're in a state of fear. And this new moon in Gemini is all about manifesting a fresh start. And all that Aries energy is about creation. There's big manifesting energies right now. A lot of support for chasing new things, creating new things, evolving your new identity. And if you're afraid, you won't be able to receive the gifts that the universe has for you. If you're holding tightly to something, trying to control things too much, you could miss an important download. And there will be more endings, and that can bring up fear. That North Node in Pisces is there until July 26th, 27th, depending on where you are in the world. That's another almost 2 months, encouraging more letting go, sending in higher messages around what's ended, encouraging you to lean into faith and lean away from worry. That South Node's in Virgo, and it can be very anxious, very controlling, obsessed with details, needing facts, always worrying. But the North Node in Pisces says release your grip on that. Fall into a softer energy. Where can you find your flow? Surrender to what you cannot control and ask the universe, literally ask, hey, universe, I trust you. All I ask is that everything unfold for my highest good. And when things fall apart or end, know that they're ending for a reason and that something new will be coming to replace it. So overall, the Cancer, Aries, Gemini, and Leo area of your chart, these houses are activated this week. A Venus in Leo brings in a whole new energy to work with, creative, fun, playful, passionate, and can help you get things going, things you've been working on. And in the minor grand trine that's forming in the background, use this new moon as an opportunity to set a new intention around those Gemini themes in your life to support all that newness that's coming forward. Those Gemini themes of communication, writing, speaking, teaching, learning, short distance travel, where you live, your immediate environment, what's in front of you, the people you talk to regularly, your daily interactions with them, how you get around. What does that look like? Gemini's the mind, the analytical brain, and it processes information and creates your perception. So what information is coming in that's changing your mind? What choices are you ready to make? What new intentions are you ready to set around the Gemini themes in your life? So that covers all the transits for June 10th to June 16th. I hope this helps you prepare, make a plan. Remember, your frequency is a choice. So choose the frequency that aligns with what you want. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.